Hello everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Batman from the Red Sun. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Okay, so I know the pose. I just got to get in there, have him kind of at an angle. It's mostly cloth, so no armor, some things like that. He does have his belt, you know, with his big bat pouch. It's got all his tools and whatnot. But yeah, it's mostly cloth. So it's gonna be fun though, because he's got a lot of cool things on him. And he's got that unique look to him, and they just released this on video, so that's why I'm kind of celebrating it myself with the you know, this look, this style. Okay, so you know what? I'm concentrating on what I always tell you not to do: the details. Always get your sketch down first, and then you can play with the details. So let me get back to what I was doing. All right, so I've got him mostly on this leg, but he is kind of crouched and his legs are spread. So I'm just gonna get this one out here too. But the thing is, I'm gonna have his cape over this foot, kind of hanging down over his legs. So I just have to, you know, sketch it out, then I'm going to drape it over. But I've got to get everything down first. And that's what I try to tell you guys is always get down your pose first, then worry about the details. Because the last thing you want to do is sketch, and then the feet are down here. So you can't even see them, you know? So, well, for me, for the video, doesn't matter. You can draw down there all you want. But I need to get this on the camera, so sketch for me is the most important thing, so I can get it in frame. I gotta think like a photographer. Okay, I don't really, but I just wanted to say something silly. Okay. Okay, I think I'm just gonna have these fingers all spread out. All action style. There you go, like that. I think I'll do his spikes on this side. Okay, so that being said, that means now I can do his cowl, or cape, I guess. This part's the cape, right? The cowl is what's on his head. Now I can worry about the details. So the cape's gonna go over his arm like this, then it's gonna hang down. Let's see, so I'm gonna have it over a little bit, hanging down onto his leg, and then hanging over like that, right? Okay, so that means like this, that's over that. Cool. That works out, that's perfect. So now I'm gonna add the details, and I'll try to get through this fast because we wanna get to the good stuff, right? The Sharpies, the Sharpies, as they say in France. They don't, I don't know, what do you say in France? How do you say Sharpie? Les Sharpie, I don't know. Okay, that's horribly insensitive of me. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get back to my drawing and keep my horrible comments to myself and give you nothing but positivity. All right, here we go. That looks good. That's going to go there. He's got boxes on his chest, his packs, his bat pack. It's where he keeps his juices and his Snickers bars. He likes the king-size Snickers bars because he's a big man. He's got a big bat hunger, right? 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Looks good to me. Let's get going. Okay, and then one there, and this one will hang down like that. All right. How's yours looking? Mine's looking awesome. All right, so in this hand, let's do the grappling, the batarang. Like this. Right? Let's see. Should we do a rope hanging off of it? We should, probably, right? Yeah, and then we'll do the rope kind of hanging off, coming off his belt, because that's where he throws it. Okay, I think, oh, yeah, let me do this, make sure I put him in there. I think I'm ready to switch over to Sharpie, and let me make sure, right? That foot is still on, right there is too low, but I think we're good. As long as I keep it up there, we're good. All right, so I'm gonna erase just a little bit of this because I want, oh, you know what? Let me add just a few little details to the face just to make sure I get this right. I did a quick sketch of the face, but I want to make sure that it looks right because I didn't specify a lot. I just kind of went real fast. And this is just for me, mostly because I know you can't see these tiny details, but I can, and it's going to be imperative to the drawing. Imperative. You hear that? That's a big word. It is for me. I don't know very many big words. All right, and so his hat's gonna be that big. Okay, I think I am ready to go now. So let's erase just a little bit of the sketchiness of it, because when I switch over to Sharpie in a second and welcome everybody that jumped to that section, the skippers, I want the pencil to disappear and I want the Sharpie to stand out. So I need to erase some of this, so I just have a ghost of an image to work with. And if you're working with pencil, you just keep getting darker and darker. I just need this lighter and lighter. Okay, I think I'm ready. That's good. It's a nice light image that I can work with. I'm gonna go from there. You just clean my eraser before I put it away. Wash your dishes before you put them away, right? All right. There we go. So, there we go. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do a drawing every day. I don't always do Batman, but I do something different. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be working with a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen, mostly the fine point, but the pen's a little finer than the fine point and can find the things that the fine point can't quite find. So I've sketched the entire thing out and I've erased a majority of it and left a ghost of an image that I can work with. I don't know what all this is while I'm doing this stuff with my hands, but it makes sense, right? And I'm going to draw Batman and use this Sharpie. All right, so I'm gonna work with the face, work with the eyes, and build my way out. So I kind of have his eyes drawn, but I want to give him those angry brows too. So I'm going to do like this, just to give me a place to start and make sure also that I have it right level-wise from the way that I'm gonna have his head facing, the angle of it. And it's a little lower than I expected, but I'm gonna work with it. I'm gonna draw those angry brows like that, then draw his eyes in like this. And the nice thing about Batman is that's all it is. We're not gonna draw pupils, iris, or anything like that. That's just angry Batman, you know, just his cowl the way it is. And so I'm gonna draw his hat just to give me a level place, a start-stop point. I'm gonna draw the top of it like this, because it's kind of over his brow, and it's a little fuzzy. It's that fuzzy hat material, so I drew like a sketchy little line all the way across. So now for his nose, I'm gonna go ahead and draw the line down the middle of it, and then I can draw the point of his nose and build on the cowl. And I'm just gonna point it out just a little like that, not much, and then build the edge of the cowl like this, with the mask, you know. Let's go ahead and do one line up like that, and the other we'll do with color, but at least we know that that's a point, and that's where we're gonna build from there. So we'll just do something like that, just to give him some angry face. And I kind of tilted his head just a little bit more according to the sketch that I have here, so I'm gonna work with that. I'm gonna accommodate for that. So his nose is in here, but you can't see it, so we'll draw like the divot of his nose like this, and then draw his mouth, little frowny face. You know Batman, he's a little angry. That divot came out a little bit lower than I wanted, so if you want, or if you can, draw it a little higher than that, because now it's going into his lip. And I didn't mean for that to happen, but that's the way things go, and I'm gonna work with it rather than cry about it or start over. I think it's gonna work. So I'm gonna give him a little bit of a bottom lip, like this, like that, and then draw his chin down here like this. And I'm gonna start to thicken it up on my end, because when I switch over to this Sharpie, it's gonna get super thick. So I'm just kind of taking into account what's about to happen and working with that. Okay, so I'm gonna give him the strong bat jaw. So he's got that big, strong bat face, right? And again, on my end, I'm gonna thicken it up a little bit. You do what you need. And so see, that kind of works. It kind of, it looks strange here, but once I color it, it might work a little bit better. And if you want to draw the other side of that nose, you can. But like I said, I'm preparing for what's going to happen with my coloring. So I'm going to draw the side of his head like this, because I'm going to draw the hat that's over it. And I'm going to do that with the small Sharpie, then switch over and do the rest with the big Sharpie. So for the hat, the flaps that are hanging down, I'm just going to do this. Come back up. Go up here like this. It came out a little thinner than I wanted, so I'm just going to add just a little bit of thickness just for my own frame of reference, and do the same thing over here. And this one has a buckle on it. I forgot about that in the sketch, but I remember it now, so I'm just going to add something like this, then come back in, draw the other side, and again thicken it up, and I'll add this detail in a second. It looks almost like a Santa hat, right? Yeah, so I'm just gonna add like a, because it would buckle up over here, right? So I'm just gonna add just kind of something like this, just to show that something is there, you know? All right, so for the top of the hat, it's got that big flap, that big Russian hat flap. That's kind of up like this, and coming back down. And I made it kind of fuzzy. I dented in a little bit more than I wanted to right there, but that's okay. It happens. And again, for my own peace of mind and creativity, I'm thickening it up just a little bit. And I'm gonna add that little center dot snap that he's got right there, and then add the ears. So I have it out here a little bit, but I'm gonna kind of follow his head. So I'm gonna draw here and there for the ears, then draw the side of his head, imagine where it is, come up and do about the same thing over here. Booyah! Bat head. All right, so let's move on to the next part. So now I'm going to switch over to the big Sharpie and draw his cowl and work my way out. So his neck is going to be inside the cowl, so we're just going to kind of play around with a little bit of neckline like this, and then I'm going to draw the shoulders to the edge like that, and that's where the cowl is hanging over his shoulders, okay? Same thing over here. I'm going to bring it in, draw the shoulder. It's going to hang over his shoulder right there. And I'm going to draw the point of it for the cowl and add some detail in a second. So the point's going to be about right there. So I'm going to come back up, because it's literally at a point like that. And then I'm going to draw the edges of the cape to where they disappear off his shoulders. Okay? And that'll give us some guides of where we're going to work with, where we're going to go, where we're going to bat take this. All right? Are you bat okay with it? That's fantastic. All right, enough of the puns. Okay, so I'm gonna draw just a few little lines like this just because it's going to represent the folds in the cowl that are built into the design. I'm going to thicken up that right there, and I think, let's see, let me go ahead and make that point a little bit better. All right, the cape's going to come in like this. We'll say this edge of the cape comes up like that. There, and that way we're adding just a little bit to it, you know, a little bit of specifics, a little bit of detail, you know, just to make it unique, make it your own, you know? All right, so, oh, you know what? Let's add the bat on his chest before we go any further, because I want it with this Sharpie to stand out. So I've already sketched it, so I just basically can trace the entire thing because I know where it's going to be. Okay, so I'm going to draw the head like this, and then trace around the drawing I did. So I'm basically drawing the bat symbol, but I I sketched it here so I know where it's going to go on his body. All right. There we go. So I'm going to leave it like it is and then color in the rest later. But I just wanted it to stand out versus the thickness of this Sharpie and the way the rest of it's going to look. All right, so I'm going to draw his packs. He's got two chest packs right here that are just big squares, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw a big square, rectangle, I guess, and add the detail with the smaller Sharpie. Again, so it'll stand out, so it looks unique. And I'll do it like this. You know what, here, let me draw like a square so you see what I'm doing. So the 3D-ness of it, you know, that's kind of what I was going for. There you go. And because each one of those is kind of like a little pocket holder, little place where he holds his pens, and his pencils, and his erasers. I'm going to draw a flap over it like that, and that's all we're going to do for that. We're not going to go crazy. I'll tell you what we will do is thicken up this edge just to define that that's a thicker edge than the rest of it, you know? Just a little something, a little bat something. Okay. All right, so now, like I was talking about in the sketch, most of this is just cloth, so we're just going to draw a lot of cloth. His chest is going to be up here, and that's where his shoulder is going to be. So it's going to come down here to the glove. So his shoulder's here. That means his biceps here. Crook of his arm is like right there. That's the glove, elbow. And again, I'm going to draw just a bunch of creases because it's got a lot of bend in this material. There, and I won't go crazy and draw them all over the place, but you can because it's just nothing but cloth, you know? All right. So now I'm going to draw his glove and draw the little points on his glove. What do you call that? The little, those things. There we go. So let's draw his glove over here to his wrist. Same thing on this side to the wrist. And draw the points of his glove spikes. What do you call this? Those things. That's what we drew. Okay, in his glove, I'm having him just hold a batarang, kind of like this. I know this is a lightsaber, it's not a batarang, but so we're only going to be drawing like this part of the knuckle, that part of the knuckle, and then it's over his hand. So it's not closed completely, it's open like that, okay? So we're going to draw his thumb up, and it's wrapped over everything like this, and that's going to close out the hand, but again, it's over the actual batarang kind of thing. So I'm going to draw his knuckle. His first finger is covered up by his thumb, so you can't really see much of it like that. This one, you can see that much like this, that much like this. Then the pinky is a little bit higher than that one. It's going to be like that. So you see what I'm saying? How it's kind of a little bit higher? That's what we wanted to do. So now we can draw the batarang. I can't even think of my word. See, that's why I'm not a writer. Let's just keep going. So I've got it at an angle like that, so I kind of want to redraw it this way. So what I'm going to do is change my sketch like this, and that way it'll fit with his hand better the way that I have it drawn out. Okay, and here, let's add some detail to his glove real fast, just to wrinkle it up and make it used and worn. Something like this. And yeah, that's all we gotta do for the fingers. I don't want to go crazy there. We'll draw a little bit of detail into the batarang. Grappling hook, that's the word I couldn't think of. Woo! The grappling hook, that's what we're drawing. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the bigger piece up here, like that. And I'm gonna draw the wings like this. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna have it attached right here. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna draw a rope connecting to him. And normally I draw it on each side so you can draw the like color in the middle of it, but not this time. Let's just do one thick rope that's gonna disappear like that to his belt. So there you go. And that's where his belt's gonna be. So we're just gonna draw it like that. Okay, so that being said, oops, my picture disappeared. Okay, that being said, now let's draw his belt. So he's got, you know, like everybody does their special bat belt with utilities and snack packs, pudding packs, and sidewalk chalk. You know, he's got to entertain himself every now and then. It's not always about crime. Sometimes he's having a good time, you know? All right. Okay, so let's draw some more. He's got more packs and containers. Again, for his juice box. And video games. He's got a little a Game Boy he keeps in there, you know. Sometimes he gets bored. It's not always crime. Sometimes he's just waiting for it to happen. Okay, and he's got like a gun holster over here that we'll draw. And we'll give it another 3D level to it. And when I say that, I just mean like, you know, it's got an angle, like there's this side, that kind of stuff, you know. There we go. All right. Okay, so I'm going to finish up some of his cloth here, his material, you know, his suit, like this, which is going to go up into this shoulder, and then we'll add just like a middle, like that. And again, some creases and cloth for the material, so we can see that it's you know, cloth. Okay, so let's work on this arm. So this one's just coming out and hanging out, just getting ready to pivot for the grappling hook throw. So I'm going to draw to the glove like this. There's a bicep like that, and I can draw the top of the glove down to the wrist. There we go. And so here we'll draw the points. Do we ever figure out what we're calling those? We're going to draw those on the top side like that. There we go. And let me add some, before I forget, some creases and folds and material to his shirt here. And that will help us make it come alive. All right. Now remember, you don't have to draw all the lines like I'm doing. I'm just kind of showing you, add some like that to make the bends and folds come alive and work that way. All right, so now this hand is just hanging down, nothing special, just hanging there. So I'm gonna draw the top of it there. This side's gonna come in like this. The middle of it's gonna be right there, so that kind of defines where my hand is. And so I'm gonna draw the first finger there, like that. So I can draw the thumb in like this, like that. and I can draw the other fingers back behind it. That one's longer, this one's shorter, and this one's just out for dramatic effect. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna bring back the other Sharpie again, just to add just a few little details, just to, you know, like I said before, show creases and folds to make it come alive. All right. Okay, so remember I said the cape is hanging over, so I want to do that before I draw the leg, just because I want to make sure that it's in the right spot, or it's on top. So the cape is hanging over like this. Here's the top, like, edge of it. So it's hanging over there, draping down his arm, and it's going to come, this side is going to come down here like that, and hang down. All right. So then it's going to come up here, drape over his boot, and draw like this. And the back edge of it is going to come down here and do this. And then that's going to hit his leg, and then follow the shape of it, and come down and reconnect in there like that. All right, now that is because of planning. I knew where the leg's gonna go, so that's how I can draw where it's laying over the leg. All right, so let's continue down and get to that spot. So his jacket's hanging down, and it's open. And remember that middle that we were drawing there? Well, it's not connected here, so it's open. Okay, so now basically we're just drawing anatomy and cloth. So there's his middle of his crotch right there, and that's where his pants are connected, and the leg's gonna come down here like this, and this side's gonna come in here, and he does have knee pads on, but you can't really see him because of the cape. But we're gonna do that and bring this down into the boot, but it disappears underneath the cape. So all we're gonna do now is imagine the rest of it coming down. There's the boot, front of the boot. What's that all about? And draw the side right there. And that way we can add some creases and folds to the material, the cloth, and like that, just to show the bump of the knee pad. Woo, I couldn't think of the word. Like that. And again, I'm gonna add just like that, just a little bit, because we want it to show that it's there, but you can't tell the detail because of the actual cloth, the material, you know. But you can see that there's something underneath it. That's kind of what I'm going for there. Okay, so we'll draw more of it under here in a second. Let me draw this leg and we'll reconnect and finish all that up, okay? So this leg is just, he's pivoting on that, so most of his weight is on here, so I'm gonna bring the cloth down here. This is gonna be his knee pad. So that's basically where his knee is, so his back leg is in like this. And it's basically floating on top, so we don't have to draw a strap or anything. But we do have to tuck it into his boot, there. And we'll go ahead and add some of that detail real fast, just so you can see something like that. Add some detail for his knee pad. Can't see that side as much as you can here because that's tucked back at an angle. That. All right. Okay, and so now we're gonna draw this boot over here. And we're gonna come in. Let's just Russian fight boots. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody's got Russian fight boots, right? Okay, we draw the front toe like this. Come in here like that. There's his heel. And again, just gonna draw, oops. You know what? Hang on, I gotta draw some detail. Okay. There we go. And the cape is what I wanted to draw. So that's why I said oops. It's like, nope, not finished. Don't put that away. So this cape is hanging down here, going past this arm. It's gonna connect right there. Gonna come down here like this. Keep coming down. Now, see how I have it like this? You gotta imagine that it's laying like that. So this end is pointed like this, hanging right back up, coming up here, doing that. And it's back behind itself, so That's like this. That's like that. That's like this. Like that. And like that. So we're almost done. We're almost done. We're just going to add just a few little extra detail lines here. Because he does have like a, you know, the bat look to it, but like edges to give it that bat wing look. All right, I just want to point this out because that Sharpie can't quite get those points right. There you go. A few more here just to satisfy my own bat desire to make it look like Batman. Okay, nice point. Nice point. And we'll go ahead and just do something like that just to make it look tattered, and used, and well-worn. Okay. Okay, I say we take care of the rest with color. So that is Batman from the Red Sun. So here is my colored version. You could do it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures of how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button to be updated about each new video.